So apparently, the International Monetary Foundation system and centralized banking digital currencies, central bank digital currencies, whatever. That's the mood today. Sorry if my mic settings are a little off. I have to keep changing. Linux and OBS is not playing well. Anyways, IMF CBDC. Crypto news today. IMF launching new global CBDC. It's happening. It's happened. Congratulations. Universal Monetary Unit explain Umu? Shit. It's almost like Uwu, but that's interesting. Is this the XRP killer? Not an XRP fan. Look at who invested in XRP and is holding the biggest bags. It's not who you want to be investing your money with, unless you really just don't care about anyone or anything other than profit. This is big. What's he got to say? Seems to be no volume to this. It's not muted. So I don't know what they're talking about there. Let me check to make sure it's not me on my end, which it is. I was just testing some audio stuff, so I apologize for that.
Yesterday, a secretive and seemingly IMF-affiliated group unveiled plans for a global CBDC to replace the US dollar called the Unicoin, which also, fittingly, happens to be the name of a failed scam crypto a couple years ago. Now, this global CBDC caused quite a stir, raising questions why exactly the American taxpayers are funding an organization apparently working hard to destroy our economy. Now let's get the first point out of the way. This isn't coming directly from the IMF. It's coming from a quasi-government organization that presented the idea at IMF's annual conference. So it could be a hoax. Of course, given people are linking them as intended, and the IMF has not commented, rare in these days of indignant corrections of disinformation, I assume for now that IMF appreciates the effort, even if they can't openly endorse a dollar replacement at the moment. Now, that secretive group calls itself the DCMA, Digital Currency Monetary Authority. It is, according to its website, a secret cabal of, quote, sovereign states, central banks, commercial and retail banks, and other financial institutions. Now, the IMF already has a pretend global currency called an SDR, which is really just an IOU payable in national currencies, so dollars, euro, yen, pounds, even Chinese yuan. Essentially, IMF decides, say, that the US will put X% into a pot of money, and if that pot is ever called upon to bail out a dictator or a socialist regime, the IMF will request the US hand over that many dollars. This, in contrast, would convert that placeholder SDR into a functioning CBDC, which would move the IMF and its affiliates towards controlling the world's money, replacing the Fed on a global level.
I'm not good with that.
If that happened, they could inflate without limit. It would be a near monopoly on fiat currency, which is the lifeline for the 90% of people who still don't use Bitcoin or gold. Worse, assuming such a world CBDC had legal tender status, meaning everybody would be obligated to use it, as is the case with all national currencies, this would give them the ability to literally redistribute all of humanity's wealth at will. In short, it would be a world government in all but name, and a communist one given the IMF staff. Now, this shouldn't be surprising. A world currency has long been a goal of the IMF. Indeed, Keynes proposed a global currency, the Bancor, at the 1944 conference that established the IMF. That was to be managed by a global central bank called the ICU, the International Clearing Union. Now, there's a second project afoot from that same taxpayer-funded international community, and this one they're actually proud of. This one's from the BIS, dubbed the Central Bank of Central Banks, called Project Icebreaker. The BIS wants that very ICU that Keynes was promoting, a global CBDC clearinghouse to unite all of the authoritarian CBDCs This would not quite be a world government, but it would put enormous pressure on countries to impose their own CBDCs. Given what once gentle countries like Canada have done with such powers to, say, peaceful truckers, even BIS's CBDC promotion effort should knock them off the taxpayer handouts. And that brings the larger question, why exactly Americans are forced to bankroll any of these globalist authoritarians who sit around dreaming up new chains for us and new ways to make us eat the bugs.
Eat the bugs. Or, you know, get big, huge, super yachts like Jeff Bezos to just run away on. Anyways, let's go to the money GPS.
Today I've got some breaking news that will raise some eyebrows. It's something that I've been warning about for literally years, and it is officially here today. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, just announced the launch of an international central bank digital currency, a CBDC, called Universal Monetary Unit, UMU. Now I know that's a lot of alphabet soup, but please stick with me. This is huge. This is the biggest thing to come in all of the central bank digital currencies. Now, this might sound like a step forward in the world of finance. You're hearing about central bank digital currencies and how fantastic they are, right? But there are some serious concerns about the potential loss of sovereignty and privacy that come with it. During the recent IMF spring meetings, the Digital Currency Monetary Authority, DCMA, unveiled this new digital currency. And I'm going to bring you the details of it. This is something I have been talking about for years, saying you have to watch what happens with the IMF. The IMF already has something called SDR. It's a special drawing right. It's their own currency in a sense. And now we've gone to the next level. What I have said has been basically that the IMF will stand at the center and they will be able to conduct whatever it is they please with a currency that you may not use directly, but that your countries are essentially beholden to. The currencies that we have are really there to transact with this new currency, with this supranational entity that sits above, unelected, of our governments. Does that sound?
Sounds like some more WEF shenanigans, if you ask me.
Like a good thing to you? Well, that's literally happening right now. You're getting the brand new information that has come out. In the previous video, I just talked about the BIS doing their own thing, the Bank for International Settlements. They are often referred to as the central bank of central banks. And now we have the IMF. It seems like everybody, every country, supranational entities, they are all going towards creating some form of digital currency. In this case here, they're talking about a CBDC. Now, these aren't fantastic. These aren't good in any way. Except, as I'll talk about here, they are trying to improve upon the current system. What are the problems of the current system? Well, if you transact internationally, you know the deal. It's way too expensive and it takes way too long. These things are an absolute fact. I have to wait until the next business day. So when I'm sending money overseas right now, I have to wait several days. If it's a Friday afternoon, let's say, I'm not going to send it. I got to wait until Monday to then send that money. So what happens? I'm twiddling my thumbs for the next few days. At the same time, I'm paying a lot of money. A lot of money when you think about it, because those transactions start to add up. It should cost next to nothing to send money overseas. Why? Just like I can send you a text message and an email for essentially free, that same thing should happen within the financial system. That's what central bank digital currencies supposedly are here to help us with. Now,
anyways, if you want to go watch that full video, that is the Money GPS. And that's pretty much just a little update on today's shenanigans. CBDC is here.